A new twist in the TikTok trials.
ByteDance ownership of TikTok is a threat to the security of the United States.
With an unexpected announcement by a former cabinet member under the Trump administration. A family trip ending tragically.
And he tried to get his dad back up, and he couldn't get him back up.
While scuba diving in Florida. And Messi lands in the nation's capital.
And the player who I came to see isn't even going to play.
Live coverage from Caplin's DC bureau. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Natalie LaRoche-Pietri.
I'm Samantha Gutierrez. Today is Friday, March 15th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
A new deal turning over the future of TikTok in the U.S. An unexpected announcement by former cabinet member is changing the trajectory of the popular platform in the country.
CNN's Laura Aguirre has more on the offer.
I'm going to put together a group to buy TikTok.
You're trying to buy TikTok?
I am.
It's the latest twist in the TikTok tug-of-war on who should or will control the wildly popular social media app in the U.S. Former Treasury Secretary under Donald Trump, Steven Mnuchin, on CNBC Thursday, unveiling his plan to make a bid, which could happen if a bill banning the Chinese-owned platform or forcing its sale in the U.S. makes it to President Joe Biden's desk. It passed the House with strong bipartisan support Wednesday.
This is a huge lever to affect elections, to carry out a communist government's nefarious plans.
ByteDance ownership of TikTok is a threat to the security of the United States.
The editor-in-chief of ByteDance is the secretary of the CCP cell embedded at the very highest levels of ByteDance to control all of its products, including TikTok.
National security concerns are the most common thread joining both sides of the aisle. Still, there were a few dozen holdouts in the House.
There are First Amendment implications at stake.
We want to ensure that TikTok is in the ownership of either an American company or a company in an allied country.
Mnuchin hasn't yet revealed how he'd finance the deal or how much he'd offer. But even to get there, the bill to force a sale needs to pass here.
We're going to allow the process to unfold as it should in the Senate.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
What started as a father-son vacation near Jupiter turned into deep water tragedy. The family was traveling from Florida to Texas for their annual scuba diving excursion. WPTV's Todd Wilson has more on the story.
And he called his big brother and told him that he was standing there and that he thought his daddy had drowned.
Kelly Bazayev says Wednesday she got a phone call back in Texas she'll never forget.
Then I just started to get to Florida.
The call is about her former son-in-law, Kenneth Lowry. She says since her grandson was 8 years old, his dad has taken him on a scuba diving trip to Florida. This time, 14-year-old David Lowry, or Xander as he's known, is the only one returning to Texas alive.
My grandson, they went out, I guess, on a boat. They went down. He knew there was problems. He knew, and he tried to get his dad back up, and he couldn't get him back up. So his dad pushed him up towards the top, and Xander came up as fast as he could. And when he came up, he looked back, and his dad wasn't there.
Authorities say the Republic 4 dive charter out of the Jupiter Dive Center took the father and son on a dive tour around 9 that morning. By 9:50, both divers went into the water. A few minutes later, authorities say Xander came up yelling for help. Roughly 10 minutes later, Jupiter Police and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission were in the area of Captain Mike's Reef, which is about 6 miles offshore of Juno Beach, searching for Lowry. Following an extensive search, Lowry's body was discovered in the ocean. I spoke to one of the owners of the Republic 4 dive charter by phone. He told me he didn't have anything to say about yesterday's dive or the death of Lowry. Bazayev says Lowry was a great father to his 3 kids and to Xander's mother, whom he just lost to cancer recently.
He was phenomenal to my daughter as she was dying. He was there for her, even though they weren't together anymore. I mean, he was just that type of man.
Bazayev says the death of Xander's father means her grandson has lost both of his parents within the span of 3 weeks.
That was reporter Todd Wilson from WPTV. Kelly says her son-in-law was dive certified and hoped to become a dive instructor.
The White House is currently discussing how to address a potential mass exodus from Haiti. The plan includes increasing capacity at a migrant center in Guantanamo Bay, which is located on the southern coast of Cuba and about 200 miles from Haiti. The center has been processing migrants for years and is separated from the area where terrorism suspects are held.
Former President Donald Trump's case regarding his unauthorized retention of classified documents continues this morning. This comes after his defense attorney's plea to throw out the case was rejected in federal court yesterday. Trump's former attorney, Tim Parlatore, says the plea was still valid to pursue.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, any competent lawyer would pursue that. You know, there is precedent from the Clinton administration that the president essentially has unfettered discretion whether to designate something as a personal record or a presidential record. So, you know, the question of whether that extends to classified documents or national defense information is something that hasn't yet been tested. So I think any attorney would at least make the motion.
Though Judge Eileen Cannon, who conducted Thursday's hearing, agrees that Trump's team had raised, quote, various arguments warranting serious consideration, she ruled it would be better to leave it in the hands of jury instruction instead of dismissing it altogether.
A school bus driver in Westboro, Massachusetts was arrested yesterday due to the driving while students were on board. As WBZ's Christina Hager reports, the driver has been fired and faces multiple charges of child endangerment.
Jane Welch smiled and greeted news cameras as the school bus driver walked into court to face some serious charges. It started here at the Westboro school bus yard when people noticed her stumbling as she got on her bus to start her route.
Officials there asked her not to get on the bus until they could check her out. She refused. She got on the bus. She drove away.
She got to the Park Village West apartment complex and had 25 to 30 young students on the bus when police caught up with her. A father described to us in Spanish how scared his daughter was, saying the police entered the bus where she was and they were asking them for their names. Police say Welch was slurring, smelled of alcohol, and grabbed a student's seat to catch her balance.
But this makes me think, how many times did this happen before that we didn't catch it? I'm really grateful that this morning someone caught it, PD got there.
Jenny Albin's children had not gotten on Welch's bus yet, but since they're on her route, she got this text describing a last-minute crisis.
Maybe she missed 2 days last year, and this year she has missed a substantial amount of days.
Police detected bruising around Welch's eyes. She refused to take a breathalyzer, her defense attorney in court.
She certainly does deny the charges. She would admit that she has struggled recently with some depression.
That was WBZ's Christina Hager reporting. Welch also faces several drug charges. Police say they found pills on her that she couldn't provide a prescription for when asked. Her bail is currently set at $10,000.
Amazon announces this morning that it will have its first ever spring big sale later this month. The 6-day sale starts next Wednesday, March 21st, with seasonal sales on fitness products, spring fashion, and Amazon devices. Some of the items are going to be up to 50% off, and you don't need a Prime membership to access the sale.
The Panthers try to keep their winning streak while facing the Carolina Hurricanes.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
And the player who I came to see isn't even going to play.
And a preview into tonight's Inter-Miami game straight from the U.S. Capitol. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
Messi is in DC, but will he play in tomorrow's match against DC United? Fans in the nation's capital are questioning whether the soccer legend will be on the field or sit out.
DC reporter Pablo Hernandez is live with a preview of what to expect from this upcoming match.
Messi likely won't play tomorrow due to a shin injury, a huge disappointment for soccer DC fans who paid sky-high prices for tickets. Even with Messi possibly sitting this one out, tickets for Inter Miami against DC United are well above normal, hovering around more than $100. Usually, fans can get their tickets between $20 and $40. Before the news of Messi's injury status, the cheapest tickets were $159 a piece. At their peak, tickets were over $2,000. Messi's superfan, Christian Melendez, said he spent over $200 for his ticket.
In a certain sense, like, you spend so much money hoping to see the main attraction, which is Messi, with all due respect to the other three. But, you know, he's not going to be there for an injury, so you feel shortchanged. You feel like, damn, I wasted all this money, all tickets, and the player who I came to see isn't even going to play.
If Messi doesn't play tomorrow, fans around DC and surrounding areas are going to have to wait until June 14th when Argentina faces off against Guatemala at Commanders Field. Reporting from Audi Field for Caplin News, this is Pablo Hernandez.
Tennis players are recovering this morning after a buzzing invasion. Yesterday's quarterfinal game at the Indian Wells tournament was cut short after dozens of bees swarmed over the camera. Players Carlos Alcaraz and Alexander Zverev were surrounded by the insects and quickly left the court. The match later resumed.
The Florida Panthers take a rare hit in the loss column this morning after the Hurricanes shut them out. The Panthers started strong out shooting the Canes, but then North Carolina took over, scoring a goal at the end of the first period to make it 1-0. The onslaught would only continue with the final score on the road being Panthers 0, Hurricanes 4. The Panthers will look to shake off this defeat against Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow at 6 p.m. You're watching Newsbreak. We're coming right back.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
Stand is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Natalie LaRoche-Patry.
I'm Samantha Gutierrez. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.